Hey, this is Dave from AllProWebTools, and I'm going to show you how to make your AllProWebTools web pages stretch all the way to both sides of the screen. All right, so we're logged into our new account here, and I'm going to click on the eyeball so I can see what the default website looks like. And you can see here that the text starts kind of in this column here, and there's no text or content over here on the left-hand side, and same thing over here on the right-hand side. So how do we stretch this out so it takes up the full space? Well, first I'm going to use Inspect Element. I'm going to right-click and click Inspect. And now we're going to scroll up just a little bit to where we see where it says container here. And we're just going to go to that container and we're going to add dash fluid. Now watch what happens over here on the right-hand side. See that? It popped over. And we're going to do the same thing with the footer here. You can see there's a column here where it says how we do business, and there's nothing to the left of that. So we're going to click here, go to Inspect Element, and we're going to look for that div class container. We're going to highlight container, and right at the end of that, do dash fluid, and we're going to click, and you can see that that has now extended out. So now if we remove the Inspect Element, so over here, we can see that it has expanded to the left, but over here on the right, doesn't look like it has. Well, actually, let's take a look at the div order. So you can see here that this video is actually centered inside a div that is actually stretching all the way to the right. Same thing down here below in the footer. Even though it looks like there's a column here that's just, there's no content going over here to the right, but the div is taking up the full width of the screen. And one thing you'll notice here is we haven't done the header yet. So that one is showing a div structure where it's just centered in the screen and there's blank space on the right and on the left. So let's go ahead and fix that. So we're going to go ahead and right click on this and go to Inspect. And guess what? It's the same process again. We're going to find the container. We're going to click on it, put a dash fluid on there, and we click away, we'll see that it has jumped over to the middle. So we'll turn off the Inspect Element. We can see the div structure is now going all the way to the edges, and we can turn off the div display div order. And there you go. So now you can see that the header is now stretching all the way from the left to the right. And we can see that this is responsive by right-clicking and going to Inspect, and then clicking on the device toolbar, which is going to shrink down the page as if it was on a mobile device. And we can scroll through and we can see that the content is again stretching from left to right. So now you might say, okay, Dave, that's great, but that was all in Inspect Element. As soon as I reload the page, that's all going to go away. Well, let me show you how to make these changes permanent. We'll go into the dashboard and we'll go to Settings and Administrator. So the first thing you want to do is you want to edit the default template. That is the entire body container. That's what's holding everything. So we're going to go there and we're going to find container and we're going to do dash fluid. So we're going to save that. And next we're going to go into the actual web page. And we'll go to the home page. Now, if we go back and we reload this screen, because we've only made that one change permanent, we're going to see that the header has gone back to being centered and the footer has gone back to being centered, but the main body area here is fluid. So now that we've updated it so that the main body container is fluid, we need to update the header and the footer. So we're going to go back to our administrator and we're going to go to header. And again, we're going to find the container. And we're going to do dash fluid. And search through to see if there's any other containers. And then we'll save that. So now if we go back to the home page and reload it, we can see that the header has now taken effect. We still need to do the footer, so we're going to go back. We're going to go into the footer and we're going to find the container and we're going to do dash fluid. Save it, go back to the home page and reload. So now the footer is stretching Everything is stretching except the menu bar. So how do we make the menu bar stretch? Well, we'll go back into the header. That's where the nav bar is located. And we'll find the nav bar right here. And look, there's the container. So we're going to do dash fluid. And we'll save it. Go back to the website and reload. And look at that. The menu bar is now fluid, stretching all the way across the screen. So now the entire website is fluid and fills the entire browser from left to right. So that's how you do it. That's how you convert an AllProWebTools website to have no margins on the left and right and stretch completely and fill up the entire browser.